Hey guys, it's your girl Coach Tasha Delk.
It's Cleo the coach. We're gonna switch it up. I'm gonna put that as a new
And we're coming to you guys today with Marriage Mondays. And as you can see, we got some imposters right now.
Yeah, they want a cameo.
And camping in on our. So today, the question that we were asked. Well, first of all,
Let mommy talk. She's doing the intro.
right.
Alright, on you, mommy.
They don't let me be great.
Hold on. Before mommy gets started, let me get my tea. You kicking him out. That's right.
All right.
We back.
Okay, so the next question that we have was, what is too fast? So for us, I feel like
As far as marriage, like
yes, as far as marriage and getting married. So what's too fast?
right.
So how fast is too fast? Basically, was the question that she asked me. So for us, I feel like in our situation, we were engaged within 6 months and then married within the first year. So married within a year.
Which is fast.
Which would be considered fast, I think, to most people. But I think for us is what makes the difference is because we took the sex out of it.
For sure.
And I think that taking the sex out of it allowed us to be able to really get to know each other. We spent a lot of talking hours with each other, like on the phone, even in person, just like very intellectual people, like just communication all the time.
That was big for us.
Yeah. I truly feel like that was like one of the biggest things for us. But I feel like also when it's right, the time frame doesn't matter. When you have God at the forefront of the relationship, you guys are you have a lot of the same morals. Like I was saying in the last video, you have a lot of the same morals. I don't feel like when it's divine, the time doesn't matter.
For sure.
You know, the time frame doesn't matter because we both had the same agenda. But I will say this, a lot of people, I feel like they missed the point of preparing for the marriage and they just prepare for the wedding.
What do you mean by prepare? Like, what do you mean? Like, as far as like just doing the work on themselves? Or you mean like,
yeah, but
as far as like pre-counseling? You mean like
premarital counseling? Yeah, so I feel like
premarital counseling?
Yeah, so like I feel like in all those aspects,
Right.
I feel like
Okay.
I feel like people don't kind of prepare themselves. They just think of like, oh, when I get married, my wedding's gonna look like this. My dress is gonna be like this. They spend so much time on the preparation for the wedding.
Right.
That they think that marriage is a wedding.
And that's where it ends at, is like the ceremony.
Yeah. And I feel like that's not where it is.
I think people definitely have a misguided perception of that as far as this. They feel like the wedding is like the goal. Like, they feel like once they get there, that's where it's just gonna just be on autopilot from there, and that's really where it starts. That's the day starts, and yeah, I agree with you on that. I definitely agree.
Yeah, for sure. So I just think, but I think when it's right and when it's divine, there is no time frame. And I think that if you just go with the flow and you allow your relationship to be your relationship, all outside influences doesn't matter. I think that, I believe that if you take all those outside influences out of it and you and that person, you and that man, just you guys together on the same path, you know what I'm saying? I really feel like there's nothing that's going to be able to stop you guys. I feel like there's never, nobody can ever put a time frame on what's meant to be.
No, for sure.
And I just kind of feel like with us, it
felt very destined for sure.
Yeah.
Very destined. And I feel like we definitely took the preparation side of it. Like that was the main thing we
took it serious.
Like,
we took that
part serious. I think premarital counseling is a must.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is something that you feel that you guys are at that stage with one another and you feel like, okay, this is the one, get to some counseling, get in front of some people that have done it before, a pastor. Our uncle helped us. He happened to be a pastor. And so that was very, very vital in just us knowing that we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And just hearing it from, and my aunt as well was in a marriage counseling as well with it. So that gave us a wife's perspective, that gave us the man's perspective, and then just from a very spiritual side of it too, which that's what we connected on, was monumental in our just understanding. Okay, yeah, we can do this in such a short period of time.
Sure. But I definitely think that, believe that the preparation for the marriage is where a lot of people miss the mark. And I think that that's why a lot of, especially like young marriages, young people who are married, I feel like that's a lot of the reason. But anyways, too, our relationship was based on communication.
No,
so,
for sure. We talked all day, all night, literally. Like we fell asleep on the phone together. We woke up with the good morning texts. We talked all day. So it was like us kind of. It didn't feel long distance at all.
Right.
Just from the way we communicated, it felt like we were very much in tune with one another.
Do you want to go into the long distance questions? Since
no, we can wait for that. I feel like we got plenty of content. We got plenty of stuff to talk about for sure. It's just, just being consistent. That's what I want to just focus on really is making sure we hitting them every Monday and just being consistent.
Yeah, for sure. But I just feel like a lot of people miss that preparation for the marriage aspect and they just kind of go in straight in thinking about the wedding. But yeah, so that really wraps it up for us on today for Marriage Monday. Oh, you got something?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm gonna wait till you done.
For Marriage Monday, and we talked about, what's the question that I asked?
Was it too fast?
Oh yeah. Like, what's too fast? Yeah. How fast is too fast?
I guess we can sum it up by saying it's based on how much work you put in. If you feel like it's too fast, because it's a relationship by relationship basis. I feel.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't feel like it's a black and white question. I feel like there's a lot of gray area in that. So I feel like it's definitely based on how I feel like you should know the pace that you're on is if you're spiritually aligned, 1. 2, you've done the preparation, and 3, you guys are just have that much in common where you feel like, okay, yeah, we can do this. Because I feel like, another point, you really know within the first couple dates if this is somebody you really plan on being with or not. I feel like I have that knowing when when I've been dating in the past. Like, okay, this is somebody I can see myself dating for a long period of time, or nah, this is probably the first and last time we're gonna do this one, or it's something that I didn't put much effort or intent into because I didn't feel that chemistry. So I feel like we know, if we know ourselves well enough, if this is something that we want to pursue or not. And if you have that knowing, then really take those steps and take that time to really curate that, to ask yourself those questions, or being prepared to take premarital counseling if you have that. If you run into that person, I feel like those are things that you should kind of already have set up in your head. Yeah,
but also, like, even with our preparation too, for the marriage, like, we read books together, a certain type of books that we read together that were very I think monumental.
The prayer book.
Very monumental in our growing together, and also preparing us for marriage. We read like 3 books. We did the the prayer books is 31 prayers for my future husband, and then 31 prayers for my future wife. So we both did those books. Now we will do them each individually, and then we would bring our prayers together, read our prayers off to each other. So not only was that a way of affirming each other for that, but they were very specific prayers for very specific things. And that also, I believe, helped us to be able to just kind of grow.
For sure.
Grow together as well as individually. And then it also kept us very close with God, I feel like, too, as well. And go ahead with
it just gave you a deeper understanding of just how important those prayers were and how in depth each of those prayers were. So one was like pray for her heart, and then next one might pray for her courage, and it just gives you specific scriptures to bounce back and forth, reference. And to be able to get a deeper understanding just from a biblical standpoint of just where they were going with it. So they're all outstanding, and they just give you each of them individually just gives you a wow, I didn't think to really pray for that, you know, and so it just definitely
it's just more in depth,
for sure.
More in depth, and for the ladies, like I know, y'all have heard like the Sierra prayer for her husband and all that stuff that's been circulating. That can give you like a plan, like not like a plan, but it gives you like a outline of how to pray for your future husband.
I didn't hear about what is
well, you know, like people is talking about like Sierra, you know, that she said a prayer, and then like she ended up meeting her husband that she has now.
Okay.
What's his name?
Russell Wilson. That's my
boy. So like, I don't really know the whole story about it, but I'm just saying, like, I know that a lot of women, that was circulating around.
So she kind of like manifested.
It's like, oh yeah, what's the Sierra prayer? What's the prayer that Sierra said for her husband?
So that's gonna think of bringing the golden husband through. I don't know who understand.
Well,
I mean, but I feel like in her instance, she probably was putting out what she wanted, like, so she was attracting the type of man, or trying to be the type of woman to attract the type of man that she wanted. So she was putting those type of affirmations and being very spiritual, because that's the type of man that she wants. She wants that type of foundation. So I feel like that's a perfect way to go about it, definitely.
But that's just like I was telling Elle earlier, like attract like, you know, like attracts like so the same things attract.
Okay. Right,
so it's like a lot of times when you're not healed, you attract people who are not healed.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you're at a level in your life where you've done the healing, or you've done the work, and you've worked on yourself, and you're growing to a standpoint of being a wife, you know, because being a wife is not easy. And as well as I know it's not easy being a husband, but it's like, but being a wife.
That's one of our topics, is the things that we didn't expect in marriage. So we ain't gonna dive too deep into that.
Right, but being a wife is hard. It's tough, and I think that people just think that it's all peaches and cream. It's just like the marriage, the rings, the wedding, and that is just all glitz and glam. But it's like you really have to be prepared to put on your big girl pants, like, you know, and there's so many things that tie into that. But we'll get into that another video. But for sure,
do the work.
Yes.
Do the work. Do the work beforehand. And when you get in, don't rush to sex. You got plenty of time for that.
Sex is the gift of marriage.
Good point, baby. And I feel like nothing wrong with intimacy. I feel like you can be as intimate as you need to be, because that's part of that connection. But when you just put those two, when you attach that soul tie to it, it's a different type of attachment, and we don't. I think we need to have a conversation about that, like how important is sex and how vital that is. Just
for sure.
So I feel like that's an important one too. But
I agree. I agree, because it is really important.
Take the sex out of it and just really focus on the communication.
One of my homegirls, her fiance, a guy that she was, I think they may be married now. I'm not really sure, but that was something that he said to her was like, sex is the gift of marriage, and it really is.
Right.
When you look at it in that aspect, because of how spiritual it really is, and then how much of a gift it really is.
For sure.
And it's just like, so also a couple of questions that we got was like about our celibacy process and things like that. So those are some things that we'll get into a little later, but definitely we do believe that no time frame really is too fast if you guys have both done the work personally as well as collectively, and then also if you guys have really taken the time to really get to know each other. Like, even like I tell my husband all the time, like, he's like really like the first man that I feel like I've actually gotten to know. And not only that, but like, he is the first man that I've really gotten to know, like, in depth. But not only that, but it's vice versa. I've really been able to, you know, he really knows me as well. And yeah, we got a lot of topics that
for sure,
and questions that we've been asked that we have to go over, that we don't want to kind of dive too deep into this, and then we also want to keep these like pretty kind of you know, not
stick to the point type
thing. Straight to the point,
and not ramble,
and
continue just to talk with this, get into every topic which we could. We can go for hours and hours. So we want to kind of just be brief and stick to the point for the most part. But I definitely agree. There is no time frame if you're on point. And another,
if it's divine.
If it's divine, for sure. You definitely got to bring that spiritual side to it.
Because y'all know my hashtag for our wedding and our marriage was destined to do. Like, so this was destined to be.
You killed that. You killed that.
And so,
And another dynamic I also want to bring in is we had children before meeting. So another key thing was for our children to be aligned with each other, and for them to be comfortable with the steps that we were taking as swiftly as we were taking them. So that was key, because men know your daughters they're not playing about y'all. So you have to make sure that they are along that journey, they're along that path, you communicating with them just as much as you are with your significant other that you plan on courting. So you have to make sure that everything is aligned and everybody knows what's going on, and nobody is just thrown off.
That's another topic that we...
Okay, but make sure everybody is on point, especially with the kids. If you plan on taking those steps swiftly, just make sure that the kids are aligned, make sure that they understand what's going on, that they're aligned with the significant other's children, and that everything is just kind of cohesive, because you don't want it's a lot of miscommunication and things that can be misinterpreted if you don't put those pieces together right. So for sure.
Well, guys, so anyways, we're gonna go ahead and just kind of wrap it up.
We out of here
for our Marriage Monday. So this is episode 2.
You looking good, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm P.O. the coach.
All right, y'all. I'm Coach Tasha Dell.
For sure.
And we out of here, y'all.
Till next Monday.
See y'all next Monday.
Yeah.